Colts officially end their season at 8-9 after winning a meaningless game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars to wrap up the 2024 season. After the game, Jim Irsay was looking worse for wear. Bear in mind, he's only 65 years old here. Watch this as he's leaving the Jacksonville game on a hover round type contraption here of some sort. Yeah. So this is the guy who runs the organization, which is obviously had a rough go of it as of late for lots of reasons. So this is him meeting with general manager Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen after the game. Doesn't look healthy. Like I said, he looks 20 years older than what he actually is. Does not look good, but it makes you wonder if he's actually the one calling the shots anymore in Indianapolis for certain. This week, he also took to social media and he said, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because it'd take forever because he wrote 2 whole pages worth of stuff here. But Jim Irsay basically said that the Colts, they intend to keep general manager Chris Ballard and head coach Shane Steichen for the 2025 season. And so that's the organization's intentions to stay the course next year. But quick question. Does anyone here on the podcast or in the chat know what the definition of insanity is? Because at least in regards to the general manager, that's what they're doing. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results.
Well, I'm insane, so I get it.
You're what?
You got to be insane to fucking cheer for this team at this point.
So it's okay. I mean,
Matt,
like I know
it's kind of like the Star Wars thing I talked about earlier. I have a hard time getting excited for Colts games right now. I just do. I mean, because you want to be excited about it, but you know the product they're going to put on the field, especially toward the end of the season as of late. They're going to get real close to the playoffs, then screw it up, and not even win a crappy division that is the AFC South. And by not cleaning house top to bottom, you're kind of just telling your fan base, yeah, just keep buying tickets. We're going to keep giving you the same mediocre product that we've been giving you over the last decade, which is, very few playoff wins and definitely no division titles. So that and every team in the division has won the title at least twice, except the Colts in the last decade. So yeah, very, very upsetting. However, I will say this. They made one good move this week. The Colts did fire defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. So at least they did something. They didn't do just nothing. And because, obviously I think Gus Bradley was one of the bigger issues with the team. But obviously, when you can't make adjustments mid-game, you're lining guys up 15 yards off the ball when you only need 8 yards to get a first down. You're not changing it up against the quarterback. You're running the offense you ran in practice to where you just can't adjust on the fly. That's a big problem in the NFL. Now I know the Colts, or at least they said they were going to interview. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the old defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals when they went to the Super Bowl a few years ago. I think he ranked 5th in the league on defense that year. However, the other years that he's in Cincinnati, he was ranked 20th or worst. So it's again, what are we doing here? We got to replace him with a good quality talent. At least that guy had the ability to throw something new at the quarterback every other player, every few plays to kind of keep him on his toes. Thoughts on the firing, at least, Brandon, or anybody else?
It's meaningless. I get it. It's not the one you should have fired. I'm being real honest here.
All right.
Matt had a lot to say about this for the stream.
I still have more to say.
Legitimately, it pisses me off because it's every fucking year I try, and we have this argument / discussion every draft. Do we not, Eric?
Yeah. You're always give me something. Give me something.
And you're and your optimism.
I try.
I applaud.
But here's the thing: after this year, there's no more of that until I see it.
That's what I'm saying. So, I am so hard pressed to be oh yeah, it's no. I just want 1 year of something progress. Some fucking where. And like I said before, and we've talked about at work with a lot of the Colts fans at work, obviously, because of where we are. But we all say the same thing. If you want to keep the players, fine. I don't know. Fucking what's his name right now? Oh shit.
What is wrong with you tonight?
Your
I
brain
don't
freezes
know,
tonight.
man. It's,
What's going on with you, bro?
I'm going through it right now.
It was the stress of trying to get home from work.
In the
Brother,
snowstorm.
it was a nightmare.
Another
But
podcast.
like, if you want to keep the players to see what you got, fine. But
Okay.
you have to start somewhere. Firing the defensive coordinator was a good start because our defense has been absolutely fucking atrocious. But you know what else has been
But that's it.
atrocious?
Yeah.
Our fucking
Okay.
offensive line. And like,
Okay.
if you keep going after the same goddamn player, here's the thing. You know why Lamar works the way Lamar works is because they found a fucking coordinator who is able to play to Lamar's fucking strengths. It's this
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't put a guy in a
they found
situation
an idiot.
and expect him to if you fucking saw something in him and you drafted him for a fucking reason, why do you not play to any of those strengths? Instead, you put him out there on the fucking field and go, best of luck to you. And then he gets fucking killed because no one knows how to block. No,
And a few of those guys may be gone this year anyway.
oh my Lord, I hope so.
Brandon, are you finished?
Yeah, go Matt. Your turn.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. Okay.
Brandon needs a breather.
Okay. First,
Maybe a blood pressure.
First of all, Chris Ballard should not have a job. I'm gonna go right for it. Chris Ballard should not have a job. Chris Ballard has derailed this team since his start here. Now, I'm not going to say that Grigson didn't help because Grigson helped.
Oh yeah, that was bad
Grigson dug the hole, and now
Ballard's got to try to get out of it, but he's not been able to get out of it.
So listen here. So this is my thoughts. Okay, we had Jim Harbaugh as our quarterback, decent quarterback, right?
Yeah,
Decent player.
Yeah.
Okay. After Jim Harbaugh, what did we have? Really two shitty seasons with not very good quarterbacks. I don't know who came after Jim Harbaugh. And then here comes along Peyton Manning. Okay. The Colts actually hit on a pick with Peyton Manning. They didn't hit it first.
Yeah, they were supposed to take Ryan Leaf, so they actually took the risky pick.
But they actually made a good decision. Okay.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Best decision they ever made.
Best decision they've ever made.
Can't fucking tell.
Okay. Because let me tell you something. I haven't seen it since.
Well, let's be fair. That's an all-time talent.
But
you're trying to replace.
Eric, I'm not talking about that. I'm the only person that's even come close to being a quarterback that is that level of talent was Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
I will give
fucking
Andrew Luck
happened to him.
And let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to crucify the Colts here on this one because they deserve it. Andrew Luck ran for his freaking life for his entire career because the offensive linemen that they picked were god-awful. They were god-awful. Anthony Costanzo was probably the only decent offensive lineman we had. And well, Jeff Saturday was there, wasn't he? For the beginning. Maybe the beginning, maybe the end. But anyway,
there was a time he played against Peyton in Denver. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So Saturday was there for a little while. Those are the two only good offensive linemen I've really seen. Quentin Nelson was he's a awesome run blocker. He is not a good pass blocker. Okay. Now back to the whole Anthony Richardson situation that Brandon was talking about, because I'm segueing into that. Anthony Richardson is what is he? 22 years old, Eric?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so he's 22 years old.
Youngest in the league.
Youngest in the league. Okay.
Quarterback. Yeah.
Okay. He gets an opportunity to play on an NFL franchise. Okay. He comes into this. Now, keep in mind, he's had an injury history at Florida, and he wasn't the
all the way to high school even.
He probably was the most interesting quarterback out of his class. I will call him that. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and tout about and say, well, Indianapolis didn't get this pick right, because I don't really think they didn't get the pick wrong.
I don't know yet.
Exactly. You can't take a kid at 22 and get these, I'm going to call them what they are, grandpa, end of career, backup scrubs because that's what they are.
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. The only decent one we had was Philip Rivers. That was the only decent one.
Yeah.
I'm roasting him.
He's not wrong, but I wouldn't say he's the best.
He's the only decent one we've had. And we get this kid, okay, and he comes in, and the fans open their arms to this kid. And Indianapolis really, the fans have done a good job of not booing him, not making him feel unwanted here. They've done a good job of that because when I look at Anthony Richardson, I see a lot of Cam Newton in him. Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. There really is nothing.
At least
wrong.
early Cam
didn't tap out of a fucking game.
No,
he
didn't.
But he didn't go back. He didn't go after a football to Super Bowl, and he wasn't the same.
No,
after
he didn't.
He didn't. He would have got fucking killed if he'd have went after that ball.
He should have. It was a Super Bowl.
But Brandon, he's a 22-year-old kid.
He'd have died.
He's a 22-year-old kid that is running for his life on a team that has no offense. They have no defense. They barely have special teams. And what he's doing is he's trying to become this put the back on my shoulders team. And you know what happens? He gets hurt every year because he's not sliding. He's taking hits.
Well, he's had a much better year, but back spasms.
Let me tell you something.
That's a problem.
But let me tell you something. The best games I've seen Anthony Richardson, which let me tell you something. This year, he had some good ones. The Steelers game was a good one.
Don't bring that up to Miranda.
I am bringing it up because it's a positive. The Steelers game was a good one, which let me tell you, the Steelers are a big boy team. They're a big boy team.
He called them a big boy team.
That's what they are.
Most of the time.
Not the last month or so, but
they're a big boy team.
Maybe they will tomorrow. Maybe
they'll be a big boy team tomorrow. They're a big boy team. That's what they are. I'm calling them what they are. Anthony Richardson. He comes into this setting, and then he does this. He has this awesome 4 or 5 game stint, and then it starts to get a little rocky, and then he gets tired and just taps out, like what you're saying. He tapped out. Okay, he's tapping out. I don't think he's tapping out because he's tired. I think he's tapping out because he's overwhelmed.
Well, not only that, when apparently there were reports going around after the season was over this week that they said that the whole benching of Anthony Richardson. The only reason that they put him back in as a starter after the fact is because they realized Joe Flacco wasn't the answer. So that tells me they did not want to put Anthony Richardson back in.
No.
Yes and no.
That's a concern. So maybe he's not even on the team next year. We don't know yet.
Here's the thing. You take that 22-year-old kid and you gave him his shot, and you're going to tell me that the trial period was only 2 years?
Year, essentially.
Okay, 2.5 years? Okay.
1 year.
Sorry. 1 year. He only played 4 games the first year he was here.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. 1 year, basically.
The 1 year. He only played 4 games. The second year he comes in here, the offensive line is non-existent. He can't run the ball. The games that I saw Anthony Richardson play the best in, and Eric, you can agree with me, and Brandon, you can agree with me on this, are the games where they let him do what he wants. And that is where he runs for about 55 or 60 yards, and he passes for maybe 20 or 30.
I mean, you can't try to change a leopard's spots. You got to let him be who he is.
Yes, you can't keep
Cam
him
Newton also said that.
Yes, you can't. Don't take away what he is. That's what makes him special. Now
get there, Matt. We only got an hour or 2 hour show.
But the problem. What I'm trying to get to all this is he's 22, and Chris Ballard in his speech today going, well, I'm not really sure he's going to be the starter. Well, who in the freak are you going to start?
Yeah, they'd have to go get somebody.
Are you going to get Sam Darnold? Because I know that's not going to happen. Because
they would probably try.
Spend cap money at all, so that's not going to happen.
They're going to get Lamar Jackson.
Please.
Oh, Jesus. No,
I mean, that's why they went and got Richardson. They wanted it to be Lamar.
Yes.
They really did.
You get Lamar Jackson.
But then you give him nothing for him to again. It's this. You can't just. You're not doing anything to help the kid. You're not.
Yes.
No.
And by refusing to make a change at either head coach or even fucking the GM, we're going to get the same shit we got this year, next year. Because there is no fucking change.
Well, and two things here. Number one, Chris Ballard, I was excited when he came here initially because he came from where? The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, in the 8 years that Chris Ballard has been here, and the 8 years that he was gone from Kansas City, what's Kansas City done in the last 8 years? Oh, yeah, just been to 4 Super Bowls and won 3 of them and stuff like that. So it makes you kind of go, maybe Chris Ballard was the problem in Kansas City, number one. Number two, it appears to be a bit of a lack of being on the same page, because you got Chris Ballard out here today, basically in his end of season speech, talking about how we're a long way off, we're not close. And then Shane Steichen, just a few days ago after the last game of the season, he said we're really close to where we want to go. Well, which is it? You got 2 of the top guys in your organization. They're not even on the same page. That's majorly concerning to me. So yeah, all that to say that the Colts are right where they were last year. I believe this is the same pick they had last year, the 14th overall pick in the NFL draft. So again, you kind of stifle yourself when you win 7-8 games too, and don't get the job done. So now you're halfway down round 1 of the draft, and there's not a whole lot you can do with that pick. Yeah, you can get don't get me wrong, you can get some talent there, but if you're looking at like a quarterback replacement, probably not, unless you get lucky on a late rounder or something like that. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't go well. However, I think Leatu Latu's been serviceable so far.
Latu was the best pick. Apart from Josh Downs, that's been the best pick they've had.
Yeah. I kind of agree with Pat McAfee. Keep Josh Downs.
Yeah, Josh Downs has been awesome.
A few other key players, but other than that, a lot of them could just go for all
Josh Downs reminds me a lot of T.Y. Hilton. I don't know
Alec
why.
Pierce.
I can see that. What'd you say, Aaron?
Yeah, cut him.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah, Alec Pierce is a good. Again, he's actually shown improvement.
Hey,
so, yeah.
when Alec Pierce is throwing the ball, he delivers. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Alec Pierce, yes, only when he's wide open.
This year, 2 years prior to that, his first 2 years, they weren't that great. Mm-hmm. This year, he looked pretty good. Actually, I believe he led the team in yards as well. So that's due to deep shots, but still.
And he's also led the team in drops.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So anyway, we won't be talking about the Colts a whole lot more until something comes up, since it is the end of the season. So we just got to get that last bit out before we go into the offseason here. But some news drops about the Colts, or they make a move, we'll probably talk about it. But until then, that'll be it for the Colts, probably until about draft time, or at least free agency. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for checking out this clip of the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our live podcast almost every single Friday night here on the channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until our next video, guys, take care and God bless.